Okay, you guys. DNI Coats is expected to resign. I haven't even turned on the news, and I just turned it on, and that's what happened. Just a minute. Okay, I do need to throw cards, but let's look at the third quarter moon, Leo Taurus. Even though the sun is in Leo, the moon was in Taurus for this third quarter moon. It's still within the eclipse energies from the Cancer new moon because we haven't completed an entire lunation yet. So the energies of the eclipses from the new moon eclipse on July 2nd, the full moon eclipse on July 16th are still active because we don't have a new moon until July 31st. Okay? So we all kind of knew DNI Coats was on the way out, and I recently did a reading last week on the election threats executive position he created. So the sun is, when he made that decision, the sun is 5 degrees Leo, which is right about here, and it's approaching the planet Uranus, which is sudden shakeups, sudden news. So that's been applying. So no surprise that it broke as the sun is squaring Uranus. The moon is 20 degrees Gemini. So when we had the quarter moon, it started here in the second house. It moved into the third house. This is about the time when they were doing an impeachment inquiry, was when the moon was 22 degrees Taurus. Well, the United States drew the card of the government, conjunct the part of fortune. It was fortunate for us. It sucked for Donald. So since then, the moon has moved into the fourth house in Gemini, which is disposited by Mercury. Mercury right now is in retrograde, but it's going to go direct at the end of the month, but still, it's still wobbling between 23, 24, 25 degrees Cancer. That is conjunct Donald's natal Saturn at 23 degrees, which is obstacles, restrictions, and his Venus, which is 25 degrees Cancer. Remember, Saturn always acted as like a block, so no one could get to his money. But when we had the full moon eclipse, I said it was like a can opener that we would be able to reveal his money and finally separate those two things. Well, Donald's ruling planet of Mercury is rolling over and just hanging out between his Saturn and Venus. It's very much a threat to him. So the moon is also approaching his natal sun of 22 degrees Gemini. So he's feeling very comfortable and at home. And now this moon is in the fourth house. The fourth house is ruled by the sign of Cancer, which is ruled by the moon. And Donald is an election baby. So he is feeling really good about these decisions and what he's doing and what he's putting out there. So much so, the card that he drew was the Ace of Pentacles. New idea, new success, new money, new beginnings, new values, new data. The United States drew the Three of Swords, heartbroken with this decision and everything else going on with the race relations. You can tell the DNI Coats announcement was coming, so Donald lobbed a grenade into, I won't even read what happened with Baltimore and Elijah Cummings, because I know it's part of an op, and I'm not going to be upset by that because I need to see the bigger picture, okay? And so this is what we have to pay attention to, especially since the sign of this fourth house here, notice Gemini is on either side. The fourth house is intercepted in here, so it's kind of like this decision is locked in and no one can make any changes to it. Okay? Later on, we will get back to this chart of when Nadler announced the impeachment inquiry, because there's so much fate over it. You guys are, you're going to faint. I almost did. So, let's throw some cards. All these things in red are the transit planets for this announcement with DNI Coats. Besides the moon, the sun, Mercury, oh, and Venus gains just moved into Leo, disposited by the sun. In Donald's natal chart, his Venus is in Leo, so he is really feeling quite lovely these days. And Mars is there. I mean, there's the sun, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. He is just feeling on top of the world right now. So with these eclipses that cause him to lash out even more, Jupiter magnifying things, he is probably going to start taking more calculated risks and new ideas and new plans. Okay, so we want to know, I want to know, why did DNI Coats resign? What were the major reasons that of the timing of him to resign right now? Okay. Universe cut my deck. The Nine of Wands. He's been fighting this battle for a really, really, really long time. He's got his eyes on the prize, which is good news. He has done all he could. I should probably get the Nine of Wands out of here. He's done all he could. You know, he's kind of staked out the property line, so to speak, or if he is dealing with intelligence, he has created those boundaries, and he has reinforced those boundaries to contain and protect us with his very last Nine of Wands there. With his very, with, you know, him taking over, doing an executive plan to protect our elections. So here he is. See how this guy's protecting the castle? Even though he has left, he is reinforcing our protections. I mean, look at all this. Look at, there's a wall there. Here's another wall. Here's another wall. You know, it's well, he's protected the fort very well. And this has to do with the sign of Sagittarius, which is law enforcement, and Saturn, restrictions, authority, and boundaries. So actually, although he's leaving under these conditions, they're good conditions. Signifier. The Seven of Swords. He left because, well, this is a stolen election, but DNI Coats reinforced our election security. Seven of Swords is Donald. Donald is very upset about this because he can't win an election without extra help. Again, this is Saturn in Aquarius. Aquarius is the sign, it also has to do with electronics, technology, freedom, but Saturn has the restrictions. What's covering this? Lord of unstable effort. The Lovers is covering DNI Coats. So guess who said fire DNI Coats? It was Putin. Even though Putin is literally, he's like a marionette puppet to Putin. This is Putin's directive to fire him. What's the challenge? The Queen of Cups, the United States of America. Donald's tweet last night was on behalf of Putin, angry at the United States of America about no obstruction, no collusion, blah, blah, blah. At the base of this, the root of it is the universe, the world. Things are coming to an end. I'm glad that DNI Coats sees this as an end of a cycle, and things are secure. What's crowning this is The Chariot, things are coming fast. Pence is coming fast for him. Look at, there's a sign of Cancer. Lord of the triumph of light. And look at, there's another Saturn. All these Saturns. In the past, the secrets. That's why DNI Coats is being asked to leave. We know what that has to do with the elections, money laundering, the 6 Wands mob, all of them. What's to come? Ace of Pentacles, a new idea, oh my gosh, new money. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. In the readings that I did yesterday and today about 1 and 2, it's about the end. I think it's 168 and 168b. I can't even remember their titles. But there's a problem with money and Russia getting money. That's a challenge, and now Rebecca Mercer's been brought back in. So somehow I'm thinking Donald is thinking if he gets rid of DNI Coats, he can put more of his lobbyist billionaires in to hand over more money to Russia. Because remember, I did a video on what do those tweets really mean? Like Ted Cruz, my bill to fast track drugs that are being used in other countries. No, those other countries are the dictator countries to fast track approval. Well, it's to pay for medicine. Hello, send money there for nothing in return. This is a money move. This is a money move, and I'm sure DNI Coats knows that. How do we see this? 5 of Pentacles. Secret money, hidden money, secret deals. Donald is doing this money for Putin. This is how much Putin runs our government. How do we, what's the environment like? 10 Wands. 10 Wands, Donald is being threatened with his compromat over Russia and North Korea and UAE rigging the election for him to win. This goes back to election stealing. This is what Putin will forever hold over his head to get paid and take over the United States of America. What's the hope with this move? 7 Pentacles. More money, more money, more money, more money, more payments. What's the fear of this move? Heartbreak by the people being angry. Heartbreak over disagreements. What's the ideal? The Knight of Cups. This is Donald when he makes an offer to someone. Donald is hoping this offer to Putin will make him happy. Everything Donald does either is about that election or for Putin's approval. What's to come? Strength. Whose strength is this? The moon. I've been seeing that a lot the last 24, 48 hours because that has to do with the decision to make Donald walk away. When Mitch and Devin were talking with Pence, they got the okay from the 6 Wands mob, Xi-Un, Putin, MBS, Netanyahu, to get rid of Donald. And this directive was coming from China because they're done with him. Well, looking further in, Devin and Mitch went to our intel agencies and FBI said, hey, they said it's time. And so that's why I posted, oh, Pence is coming. He's coming. This is why. And so strength, let's get a clarifier on this. So strength is what's to come. Whose strength? I'm curious to see whose this is. Strength from communications overseas. Because Donald's going to be made oh, that's because Ace of Pentacles. Okay, the strength is because Donald is using Putin's intelligence. And what Putin told him yesterday when Donald went all crazy about that crazy tweet, no obstruction, blah, 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 it was because Putin told him about the intercepts that Pence was coming for him and Donald was out. So that propelled this new idea. Isn't that nice? That's how our government is being run. Okay, do we need any more? Three of Swords, Knight of Cups. Okay, so obviously my next question is, how is the United States going to respond to this? Because I'm sure that, like, Mitch and company are not very happy about this in the GOP. And I just mean that in respect to what's going on behind the scenes, because Mitch and Devin and the GOP, there's more cooperating with intelligence than not. And this is why they have to act like they're still jerks and a-holes. And maybe be Moscow Mitch to show Donald that they're not doing anything behind his back when actually they are. Look at, wow. See, they are. They're doing a lot. And now Donald's getting word of it, and Putin is making a mess of things here again. So United States of America intelligence, FBI. What happens next? Are you going to stand for this? Are you going to stand for this? What comes from this? What comes from this? Seriously. Who is like, huh? What's going on? The Nine of Cups. So this tipped off the Trump crime syndicate, or maybe Ivanka has to do something now. So now that he's leaving, now what? And this was Putin directive. Six of Swords. Intelligence is going to go overseas. Remember I said the other day that Rebecca Mercer, this felt like a heist with what was going on with the impeachment announcement. I think that's what it was. She's like taking data and running. So now here we have data going. What? Strength. Because of Putin directed getting rid of DNI Coats and telling Donald, we're going to bind up the government again. People cannot get organized. We're just going to bind up the government. And there's the new op that involves the GOP and Intel to bring in Pence, Ace of Wands. Page of Pentacles activates Jared. The Five of Cups, that's Flynn's intelligence. And the government acts. Okay, you guys, so tell us. We got it. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Now I want to know. I said I was done with the story because I finished the story. But seriously, what are you going to do now? DNI Coats is here. Okay, forget it. DNI Coats. What's going to happen now? What happens now? I'm sure this pulled the trigger for something. What did it pull the trigger? DNI Coats. What? Five of Swords. They're going to fight. This pulls the trigger to fight. We're going to fight back. King of Wands. Oh, yeah. I'm not even going to ask because they told me last week that this is like, you know, the FBI intel agencies, all the people who are going to go capture Donald. I don't have to ask them because they told me this is who they are. I got a little lecture from that. That's why I'm laughing. So we're going to fight back. There goes the people to fight back. On behalf of the United States of America, see Queen of Cups. against the emperor. And then because of money laundering, data laundering, because they have the evidence from Jared. And the Page of Coins, Page of Pentacles. There you go, Jared. Ace of Pentacles, because of what Donald just did, that he thinks he's so strong. And the news overseas from, I think, when Jared was in Israel. And success. Remember, it's going to be okay, you guys. We have really good balance with this. It's going to be okay. It's happening. It said it at the tarotscope. Look at the 4th and 5th house. We'll zoom in here. Donald has the Ace of Pentacles. USA has the Ace of Pentacles. They switch from the 4th to the 5th house. Same with the 3 of Swords. They switch. Okay. Oh, thank you, DNI Coats, for your service. You're planning to keep our elections safe. Thank you so much. Now, go get the bastard. Okay, thanks. Bye.